Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great milestone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the faithful elect. This is your brother Ahmad Bayan, coming to you with another video through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kodash. Alright, this is just a quick one here through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Alright, listen to this man, this so-called orange man, speak.
The world respects us right now more than they have ever respected us before. And because of Republicans, you people in Congress, the United States has by far the strongest and most powerful military on the face of the earth. We're the strongest military anywhere on the earth, and now everybody understands it. Together with our Israeli partners, we're crushing the enemy in an overwhelming display of technical skill and military force. The world respects us right now more than they have ever respected us before.
What he meant to say, instead of putting that word respect, you have to put hate. The world hate them more than they hated them before, right? Because this, so hey, let's read some of the comments. I'm not going into it here. Alright, the first person here said false, right? The next person says, no, the world doesn't, right? And you always have somebody to back up the shit, They say, nope, quite the opposite, right? Totally out of what? Lunch, right? Say, no, we don't. You can see the comments here, right? Just an hour ago, 2 hours ago, right? The world basically shows that, you could see that the world hates Babylon the Great, aka America, alright? Everyone eating that whore, alright? Because that whore make everyone drunk from that cup, which is, all these philosophies and foolishness of this world today, alright? The other person here says, is this guy ego for real, or is he just putting on a show? He's not putting on just a show. The ego is up there. Their pride. They're very prideful. All right. Let's read the book of Psalms chapter 10. We start from verse 3. And this is just a quick one here. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It says, for the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and boasts and blesseth the covetous whom the Lord abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance, right? And pride, as the scripture talk about, pride going before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall, right? And you could see the pride that is oozing out of these devils. Alright, it says, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after power. Power is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. His judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them, right? And this is what he's doing. He puffing at his enemies. He's showing that, hey, he flexing his muscles. He's saying, hey, these people can't do us anything, but you're greatly despised. Alright, this is what going on with Esau. Esau is greatly despised. This devil, he has Trump, where we know Trump doesn't put water in his mouth to say anything. He will say as he please. He have a bold way about him, but you don't have that understanding. You don't have that wisdom. That's the thing with Trump. Trump will put everyone else in trouble because of his mouth. You know how he speaks, right? Verse 6, it says, he has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. It says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Right? And this is how they are. Right? This is how these devils are. All right? Very, very evil. Very wicked. You know? Speak about, you know, they're very haughty. They speak proudly. All right? Let's get a quick one here. Proverbs 18. And verse 12, it says, before destruction the heart of man is haughty, and before honor is humility. Right? And you know, before destruction the heart of man is haughty. Isn't he haughty? Isn't he? You know? And yet, let me just read it over for this select here. How this happen? Right? It says, before destruction, the heart of man is haughty. Right? Before destruction, right? Who you think gonna get destroyed just now?
But when the world respects us right now more than they have ever respected us before. And because of Republicans, you people in Congress, the United States has by far the strongest and most powerful military on the face of the earth. We're the strongest military anywhere in the earth, and now everybody understands it.
Now everybody eats you. You know? Isn't he boasting there? Right? Isn't he doing that? This man is out there, you know. Right now what Babylon the Great, aka America, is doing is biting off too much that they can't chew. You know? Alright, there's Obadiah 1 and verse let's read from verse 1. Alright. It says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord power, concerning Edom, you know, speaking about these Edomites, right? Talking about Esau Edom, alright, the so-called white man, alright. We have heard a rumor from the Lord Yahweh, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen, right? When you're talking about the heathen, it's speaking about people who are not the Lord's people, alright. It says, arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Right? The book of Obadiah here is going into these elites, going into the this man called Esau Edom, the so-called white man, the top banking families. Right? It's speaking about them. Alright, they are the ones that have this world in this kind of chaotic way right now. They are the ones that bombing up the oils and making a lot of chaos out there, causing the gas prices to raise and all these things. These are the people that are pushing for this to happen in order to bring forth the world, you know, the NWO. Alright? It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Right? So although you're hearing Trump speaking proudly here, right, he's greatly despised. Alright? All of them. Okay? It says, the pride, verse 3, it says, the pride of thy heart has deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, talking about his mind, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right? And this is it. This is our eagle. Our eagle is fly very high, and this is how this mind of these devils are, right? They believe that they're untouchable, They boast about the military might, all right? They boast about it. And this is what the Lord doing. This is why you have to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because the Lord is raising this devil up, just as he did to Pharaoh. Esau is known as the modern day Pharaoh today. All right? The same spirit that Pharaoh had on him, that was prideful and, boast, and no one could do him anything, is the same spirit that these devils have. All right? Nothing new under the sun. History just keep repeating itself. Let's come back here.
Force. The world respects. So with your help and hard work, we're making America great again, and we're doing it much faster than we thought, and it's better, stronger, and our country is doing really well. I mean, at a level that nobody thought. We took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil, and I think you'll see.
The evil man talking about the evil people. Satan against Satan, This is why you're seeing kingdom against kingdom, cities against cities, and so forth. This is why you're seeing that big division among them all. All right? Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is in the midst of all this. He's the one that's stirring up the minds of these devils today to cause them to behave like this, to get on like this.
It's going to be a short-term excursion. How good is our military, right? Amazing. How good. Short-term. So with your help and all.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 15, and verse 2. It says, the tongue of the wise useth knowledge, or are right? But the mouth of fools poureth out foolishness, right? And hey, Trump, you're a damn fool. You Esau, your whole lineage, Let's read it in the NLT. It says, the tongue of the wise makes knowledge appealing, but the mouth of a fool belches out foolishness. All right? This is what you're hearing from this man. Let's jump down a little bit. Verse 18, it says, a wrathful man stirred up strife, but he that is slow to anger pleaseth strife. Right? And is it, how Trump does speak. He speak very proud. There's a lot of violence has come out of his mouth, because why they are known as the violent man. This is who they are, right? They always stirring up shit. They always bring in chaos. Everywhere they go, death and hell just follow them. All right? It says let's read it in the NLT. It says a hot-tempered person starts fights, right? A cool-tempered person stops them, right? And you see any fights and the wars happening around the world, who's stirring it up? This cacaho.
Hard work, we're making America great again, and we're doing it much faster than we thought, and it's better, stronger, and our country is doing really well. I mean, at a level that nobody thought. We took a little excursion because we felt we had to do that to get rid of some evil.
And every time they talk, is a lot of shit come out their mouth. He's the only orange person in the fucking world. This man, I don't know. He's a cartoon character. Let's see what else I have here. This Proverbs 15 and 27, it says, he that is greedy of gain trouble his own house. Right? Because what they want all the oil, they want all the power, you know. But because they want all these things and you're approaching it violently, you know, because there's a violent man, you know, you tend to do what? You tend to bring forth evil upon you. Where you bring in chaos to your own home. Alright, this is why Esau is going to be destroyed. Alright? It says, he that is greedy of gain troubleth his own house. But he that has gifts shall live. Eat it, Salakia. Eat it, gifts shall live. Right? The heart of the righteous study it to answer, but the mouth of the wicked poureth out evil things. Look what it says in the NLT, verse 28. It says, the heart of the godly thinks carefully, right? Because you have to use wisdom before you speak, right? You have to think before you speak, all right? But this guy here, you know, he doesn't do that, you know? And this is why they are so greatly despised, all right? It says, the heart of the godly thinks carefully before speaking. All right, think before you speak. The mouth of the wicked overflows with evil words. All right, yeah. These people, these men, this guy. And but anyway, you know, as I said, this wasn't a long one. You know, it's just saw this video here. You know, I said I'm gonna do a video on it. All right. So with that, I hope this lesson was edifying. Or they don't know, Shalom, keep the faith, and Asha Shabbat.